All right, now let me show you how to render a drop-down list. So once again, on the Angular Material website, under the Components page, let's go to Form Controls, and then Select. Just like always, we go to the API tab first, and find the module in which this component is defined. So that is MD Select module. So before going any further, let's import this module into our app module. So here in the imports array, I'm going to add MD Select module, and then import this with my auto import plugin. Okay, good. Now back in the documentation, let's go to the overview tab and look at an example of the basic markup we need to render a drop-down list. So here we have two new elements. One is MD-select and the other is MD-option. These elements are very similar to the native select and option elements we have in HTML5. So back in app.component.html, let's add a native HTML5 dropdown list and then convert it to an Angular material dropdown list. So we add select, and inside this we need one or more options. Now, we don't need the name and ID attributes. And here this option, we want to render it based on a list, based on an array of items. So let's go to our app.component. I'm going to delete all the code here and declare an array of colors like this. Each color is an object with two properties, ID and name. So we've got red, and then green and blue. And of course, let's change these IDs. Beautiful. So back in the template, here we're going to apply the ng4 directive to repeat these options. So let color of colors. Now for the value, I'm going to use the property binding syntax and bind this to color.id. And here we can render the label. So color.name. So this is our native HTML5 dropdown list. Back in the browser, we get this ugly, really traditional looking dropdown list. We can do better. So let's convert this to an Angular material dropdown list. Back here, all we have to do is to prefix these elements with MD-. So I put the cursor here, Command and D on Mac or Control D on Windows to trigger multi-cursor editing. So Command and D, the first select is selected. One more time, now both select elements are selected. So we type MD-select and press escape. Now one more time, this time I'm going to rename option. So Command and D, one more time, and then type MD-option. Save, back in the browser. And now we have this modern drop-down list. That's much better. Now, if you want to pre-select one of the items here, you need to use the ngModel directive. So back here, I'm going to apply the ngModel directive on our MD-select element. So ngModel, and bind this to, let's say, a field called color. Now back in app.component, I'm going to define this color field here and set it to 2. So I want green to be selected by default. Now if you go back in the browser, we're going to see an error. So we have a blank screen. Let's take a look at the console. All right, can't bind to ngModel since it isn't a known property of MD-select. You have seen this error earlier in the course. The reason for this is because ngModel directive is defined in the Forms module. And because this is a brand new Angular project, we have not imported the Forms module. So back in app module, in the imports array, I'm going to add Forms module. Save, and back in the browser. All right, now you can see green is selected by default. So to convert a native HTML5 dropdown list So an Angular material one, all we have to do is to prefix these elements with md dash.